What's up guys, and welcome to another video. So today I've got a chest and shoulder workout for you guys to look at, mostly shoulder workout. But before that I wanted to talk a little bit about what's happened in the last month. I got food poisoning, which sucked, and I might as well show you all the wedding stuff we've got in this office that I've not recorded in here before. You would not believe how much shit you need for a wedding. I had no idea until we started planning our own how much stuff we got to get through. It's nuts. But first, food poisoning. So, it's been a month. So 3 weeks ago, it might have even been 4 weeks ago now, time's going by so fast, I got food poisoning, completely my own fault, and I've never had food poisoning before, but I thought I'd give you guys a warning if you've never had it before as well. It's honestly one of the worst things I've ever experienced, pain-wise, or just in general of how shit it makes you feel. So let's go through how I got it, and how to avoid it ever again. Basically, I did some chicken meal prep as per usual, except the packet of chicken I'd used, the sell by date was that day. So I cooked up a bunch of chicken goujons with just some herbs on them, put them in my air fryer, cooked them through, had them that night. Absolutely fine, no problem with them then. Then the next day I went to have it, and technically it would have been 1 day out of date that day, but it had already been cooked. So in my head I always assumed if you cooked it, it's going to last a few days after, even if the sell by date for it was the day before. Once you've cooked it, it kills off all the bacteria, etc. That's what I was led to believe anyway. Now I'm never going to eat chicken that's even slightly out of date because of what happened. So yeah, I reheated the chicken the next day, and I think it was for my lunch or something. And then about an hour later, my stomach started to ache a little bit, but I thought maybe it's just because I've eaten a large meal. And then this ache started to turn into a stabbing pain in my stomach, and then really bad stomach cramps for a good hour and a half, I'd say. Then I threw up violently. I mean it, oh god, everything came out of me, Jesus. And then after that, immediately after I'd been sick, I started getting chills and shakes, shivers, and I knew I'd given myself food poisoning at that point, because I think that's one of the really common effects or after effects of having food poisoning. I felt so cold, but then hot, but then cold. I was shivering, sweating, everything ached like I had the flu. That was the worst bit, I think, or one of the worst bits was the shakes and the shivers and the aches afterwards. That lasted about, I'd say, 18 hours, so quite a long time. It wasn't pleasant. And then after that, I couldn't get my appetite back for ages because my stomach kept cramping up. I couldn't bear the sight of chicken for a few days afterwards as well. I was just I couldn't even face eating it after what it had done to me. It destroyed me. So I had about probably 5 days, including the day I got food poisoning afterwards. My stomach was fucked up from it. Took that long to get it all out of my system and get a normal digestion going. That meant that I couldn't really do my diet how I wanted to, because I couldn't face eating any food, especially meats. I was really put off meat for a good week. So I was trying to eat veggie meats instead. And it turned out that I just ended up having a lot more carbs to fill me up once my stomach had recovered, just because of that paranoia that I just didn't want to eat or reheat meat anymore. That's gone now. I'm back on the diet, everything properly, but it threw me out for 2 weeks, and it was just really annoying because it had to happen when I was just getting back in the flow of gym. But that's life, isn't it? In future, I'll always make sure I properly reheat my chicken. God, I mean, when I bit into it initially, I was like, it's not that hot, but I've reheated chicken all my life, never been sick from it before. It was a nightmare, honestly. Anyway, I'll give you a little look of the office and the mess that's in here. All of this stuff pretty much is wedding bits, or bits that we can't put on the walls yet, or have been too lazy to put on the wall since we moved in. So up here we have these invites that Amy has made by hand, I'll give you. So she cut them all out with, let's look at them from above, really intricate. So these are the folders for our invites for the wedding to go into, and she's made them all on her pre-cut machine, this bad boy. This thing's awesome, and I'm going to start making custom gym clothes with it at some point, because you can cut out special vinyls, stick them to clothes, and make whatever kind of gym clothing you want. So I was going to start doing customized gym clothing for myself, and if they look cool, other people too. But anyway, enough rambling about all that stuff that's happened. Let's just get into the training video. Okay, so the workout, as I said earlier, was a chest and shoulder workout. I did this workout with Reese. and he was doing shoulders only, and I don't really need to train chest that much, so this isn't really a chest workout, this is much more a shoulder workout. I just wanted to throw some chest in there at the start as it was my chest day, and Reese was doing some heavy overhead press for his shoulders, which I'll show you his top set of in here. Really strong shoulder press, he's gone up a lot, way better than mine, and you'll see that in the video. Like, I was really struggling with any overhead press. So the only 2 exercises I did for chest, well 3 actually, but I didn't show one, was incline dumbbells for 42.5s or 45s for 3 sets of 12. They're my working sets. I generally do 2 or 3 warm-up sets, and then after that I did some close grip, like in a chest press with a plate. Then we jumped on some OHP. So I started off with lighter weight. I really didn't need much. I was going for the pump, so high reps, just OHP, but above and behind the head to hit different parts of the muscle. This was Reese's heavy set, 95 kg. And it's fucking easy as well. And I don't show his legs in this, but he's getting no knee jerks from these at all. This is all pure strength from his upper body. So he's really been working on his strength stuff. And if you want a pure strength coach, go to Reese. Find him on Instagram. I'll put his tag in this. He's really good at strength coaching. That's his forte, and his strength for his squats and deadlift and bench have been going up and up every session, because he's been training specifically for that. I tried that last year. Really wasn't for me. I just kept hurting my joints and wasn't really getting any gains from it. I didn't enjoy the heavy lifting so much, much more about the bodybuilding style, but it's working for Reese and he loves the strength stuff. For me, not so much. It just shows everyone's different and has got different goals from training, but you can still work out together. So he did his heavy strength compounds first. I did my compounds first with dumbbell press, then we went on to more isolation of the shoulders. So this was my second chest shoulder exercise technically, because I did it as a superset. So my chest was still pumped from the dumbbell press, did 4 sets of OHP, then we did, or I did 4 sets of face balls chest fly superset. I've never superset these 2 exercises together before, but now since my shoulders and chest were already pumped, it just gave a really nice all-round upper body pump. Luckily, I don't need to use my chest that much to get size from it. Literally, these 2 exercises were the only 2, or 3 should I say, were the only 3 I did for chest, which was incline dumbbell press, incline plate press, and chest flies, which would superset with rear delt flies. So really this workout was focused on shoulders, but for me, this is enough chest work to get my chest to grow. So if you were to do your own chest and shoulders day, I would do a lot more chest exercises than me, or do more sets, but I can get away with doing pretty much 2 exercises and I'll still get gains from my chest. The focus of this workout for me was much more shoulders. So Reese just did face pulls after his OHP. He wasn't doing a chest day, so we balanced them out. Annoyingly at our gym, I don't know if your gyms have done this, they don't have a rope anymore, and they've taken them away for hygiene reasons, because of COVID, etc. So luckily Reese bought his. I haven't used one in ages, and we used this overhand hook kind of grip. So rather than hooking around the rope, we held the handles at the end, and it works for forearms more, which is nice. But I found actually, I've never held it like that before, and I got a really good contraction in my rear delts and traps from using that different kind of grip, like grabbing boobies. Rear delt dumbbell flies after the face pulls, you know, so like I said with shoulders many times before, I like to work mine back to front generally. This session was obviously a bit different because I did a bit of dumbbell press first, but the shoulder exercises I always go rear delt, medial delt, front delt. It's just because that way you get a much rounder looking shoulder, you tire out the rear delts first and you add more size to them, and it really is what helped give my shoulders that nice cap. It's just a really good exercise to do, rear delt dumbbell flies. So again, we did multiple sets of these, and the trick with shoulders, as I said before, for mass anyway, especially on a cycle, is high reps with good form, and make sure you're really trying to isolate the the part of the shoulder you're trying to hit. So Around the Worlds here are a great all-over shoulder one, but they do a lot of your medial and front delt as you're rotating out into the front. These are awesome. So I did as many of these as I could. I normally aim for using a weight lower. I can do about 10 to 15 reps. And then once I can't do any more Around the Worlds with a good form, I will start to use side delt raises like this, nice and controlled. Even with 8 kilos here, it's really burning. You don't need a lot of weight with shoulders. Somewhere place where people make mistakes all the time is they just use way too much weight when they're pressing or doing side delt raises or upright rows or anything. They just swing the weight around way too much, use their traps a lot, don't actually get much delt engagement, and that's why a lot of people struggle to get really round delts. Ego. You got to use lightweight and technique. It really makes a big difference with these smaller muscle groups. Just making sure you actually isolate them, especially when doing this as well. You're going to be activating your traps, etc. too. So it's just trying to about getting as much delt engagement as possible. Unless you obviously want to target your traps more, in which case exercises like upright rows you can do with a bit more weight and maybe cheat a bit. But in general, I think it's better just to keep strict form. If you really struggle to keep strict form as well, sitting down doing side delt raises or even front raises is going to make you take any swing out emotion because you're sitting down. You're not going to get as much momentum. So that's a good way to do it if you're really bad for swinging weights or using too much. Sitting down doing shoulder exercises can really help you isolate and think about what part of the shoulder you're doing. When you take the legs out of it, you don't have to worry about standing up. It sounds weird, but try exercises sitting down if you really struggle to isolate, especially shoulder ones. So to finish, we did this horrible upright row drop set. Horrible but great. We already had a great pump at the end of the workout, and this was just to finish us off. We did 2 triple drop sets, so loads of fairly wide grip upright rows. So with upright rows, wider you hold them, you tend to activate your side delt, medial delt more. Closer, the narrower you hold it, you're going to use your traps more. So if you didn't realise that, that's something to take note of. So that's why we're holding the bar wide here, hit more of our shoulders. Our traps don't need much more work after face pulls, rear delt flies anyway. So it's really about just trying to hit the delt over the traps here and just do really high reps. A 10 kilo upright row is nothing, but here you can see Reese is using his shoulders a lot more in his traps. It's just about technique and just trying to target the muscle properly, and this is a proper burn, like a 1.5 minute set, sheer pain. I pretty much did the same thing except on my 3rd drop, rather than doing upright rows, I wasn't really feeling it with the 10 kilos anymore. It wasn't enough weight even with a pump for me to feel it, so I started doing frontal raises instead. But overall, really good workout. My intensity of training is going up and up every session. I'm able to do more sets, more weight, more reps. I'm chucking in drop sets, supersets all over the place that I hadn't planned because I'm feeling really energetic and good. The only thing I really need to focus on now is just really adding in my cardio again and tidying up diet. After I got sick, my diet slacked. So I've gained a bit of weight, but luckily I don't think any of it's fat. It's mostly just like muscle and water retention from the drugs and the training and everything. Now is where I really tidy up. I'm stripping back my carbs and upping cardio more. And then just on leg days, I'm having really high carbohydrates to get them to grow. I will be recording your leg day soon. They have been making actually really good progress. I've figured out what works for me, and I've got some really intense leg workouts that I cycle through each week. I'm trying to get them 2 times a week at least, and if I can, 3 times a week, but it just depends on recovery. Really, it's more like 3 times every 10 days I get them in. Because of the way I'm training them as well, I can't recover in like 2 days properly to do another hard leg session. So anyway, that was the shoulder workout and chest workout, something a bit different. There will be more videos coming, especially as summer's approaching now. I'm really back in the flow of gym. It's just about getting some good content for you guys, because I don't want to just post the same old shit every time. But I hadn't posted a month and some stuff had happened, so I thought I would share. Hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you soon with some more stuff. So thumbs up for summer, lockdown free, fingers crossed, touch wood, and let's just hopefully we can smash the rest of this year. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.